Hey folks, Matt from Art of the Image back again. We're looking at the Nikon 105 f2.8G, the macro or micro. Nikkor I think actually calls it the micro. Let's see here, we've got the actual Nikon name is the AFS VR Micro Nikkor 105mm f2.8G IF-ED. So another mouthful of a lens name, but that is the full name on this beautiful little lens. Basically, let's decode the name for you. AFS, that means it has the AFS motor drive in it. You can use it on your cameras like a D3100 that doesn't have an internal built-in focusing motor. VR, vibration reduction, that's your image stabilization, so that's on this lens. Micro, it's a micro or macro lens for close-up. You can use it for close-up photography, bugs, any type of up close things, rings at weddings, all sorts of things that you might want to use a macro or micro for. f2.8G, so its maximum aperture is f2.8. It's a constant f2.8 aperture, so it's very good. It's a G series lens. That's the newer lenses. It's not a D series lens. IF is internal focusing, which means the element doesn't spin while it is focusing, which is a bonus. We all like that. And ED means it uses extra low dispersion glass elements, and that typically means that you get better quality glass and better quality lens. Sharper basically is what that boils down to. You get a better lens, sharper lens, better performance characteristics. So we have maximum aperture f2.8. It's an FX lens, full frame. You can use it on DX as well. Maximum reproduction ratio is 1:1. As I mentioned, it's got the VR vibration reduction. It has 9 blades in the diaphragm, so that's just something, just a stat. But the blades in the diaphragm, often we can tell, depending on how many blades is in there, you can look at how good the bokeh, the out of focus background is, and if it's not good, sometimes it's influenced by that. Not saying either way, I'm just pointing that out. And it has the new nano crystal coating, so all the newer lenses have that, which helps reduce flare and gives you better image quality. It has the ED glass elements, as I mentioned. It's an AFS lens, so that's your silent wave motor. That's what all the newer lenses have, and that's what you need on your lenses like the D3100, or on your cameras like the D3100. They don't have an internal motor drive. The minimum focus distance here is a foot. Not particularly great for a macro lens. It's not terrible, but I would say that I probably would have been happier if it focused at a few inches or 6 inches out. It's a G-type lens. Has a filter size of 62 millimeters, fairly small front element. So for those of you looking for filters, the 62 millimeters smaller, so they're less expensive than if you have to get into a 77, for instance. It weighs 27.9 ounces or 790 grams. Not a heavy lens. It's not super light, but it's nothing like as heavy as the 70 to 200 2.8 VR. It comes supplied with a 62 millimeter lens cap for the front. Your rear lens cap comes with the bayonet hood and a flexible lens pouch. So there's the specs, the stats on the lens. I really like this lens, and not so much for what you might think. Yeah, it's not my favorite lens for macro. It's one of my favorite lenses as a portrait lens. That's not to say it's not a good macro lens, but this 105 is a beautiful portrait lens. A little long on a DX body, but on an FX body such as the D700 or the D3S or the D3X, one of those full frame bodies, the 105 macro is a beautiful portrait lens. The bokeh in the background is just beautifully out of focus, and it is a very, very sharp lens, sharper than the 70 to 200 2.8 VR, and a beautiful, beautiful portrait lens. So if you're looking for a really nice portrait lens with VR, check it out, especially if you're a full-frame FX shooter. Now, I wanted to go over kind of a conflicting review, and that would be Born Rorslet, Naturograph.com. Really good site for checking out Nikon lens reviews. Born probably has almost every Nikon lens ever made, or has shot with it anyways, and he's got reviews on most of them. really excellent site. He's very meticulous, very knowledgeable guy to check out. Now, he has a big problem with this lens in the sense, I'll quote from his article, like the predecessor, the previous 105, the 105 VR uses the trick of shortening the focal length during focusing, meaning that in a distance from slightly less than 40 centimeters to 31 centimeters near the limit, the magnification changes dramatically from 1.2 to 1.1. Fine if you handhold the lens, hopeless if the camera is on a tripod, since you cannot adjust focus ever so slightly without altering the framing of the subject in a major way. So that could be a point that might be something that if you're big into macro or micro photography, this may be a bit of a pain in your butt. So something to bear in mind. He sums up in another paragraph, is the 105 VR Micro a good lens? The answer likely depends on how you intend to use the lens. Obviously, a lot of engineering efforts have gone into the new design, and for many this will be a dream lens, in particular for portraiture or the casual close-up snapshot. I'm lukewarm and have no immediate plans of purchasing one for myself, although my aim of owning each and every Micro Nikkor conflicts a little with this decision. So basically, he's kind of reinforcing what I said. Love it as a portrait lens. For him, it's got some flaws that he doesn't particularly care for, or some characteristics he doesn't care for as a macro or a micro lens. So you might want to keep that in mind. Check it out at the store before you purchase. Try it, see what you think. I do give it 2 thumbs up, and primarily because I would use it first off as a portrait lens, and secondly as a macro lens. For me, it makes a fantastic fast prime. Now, if you already own the 70 to 200 VR, the 2.8, and you're not overly concerned with the extra weight of that, and you're not looking for something lighter, it might be a little redundant to go to this lens. What this lens will give you is a really nice light prime that has image stabilization. It's a VR lens, and it's very, very sharp. That might be another reason you want to step up over the 70 to 200. Although the 70 to 200 is very sharp as it is, the 105 Micro Nikkor VR is sharper. Anyways, folks, that's it in a nutshell for my 105 VR review. Stay tuned to Art of the Image. We'll be back with some more articles on what's going on in the world of photography, some more reviews, and we'll keep you up to date. And thanks for tuning in.